Hello, this is Professor Brown-Sederberg, and I'd like to talk about methods in other classes. Now, we've talked about methods already. There are methods in the same class as the main method. There are also methods in different classes. That is, classes that are not the class that I'm working on at the current moment. They're in separate classes. Let's assume that I have a class, demo calling methods, and has one main method. Let's also assume that we have a class, my methods. At this point, there's nothing in it. Let's create in the class my methods a method and then another. So I'll have two methods here in the class my methods. I intend to call those methods in my methods from within demo calling methods, from within the main method in demo calling methods. So here I'll declare my main method in demo calling methods with public static void main string args. We've seen that so many times. Here I'll declare my method in my methods. It will be named method 1, and I'll declare it with public static void method 1. Note that it expects no arguments passed to it. That's the empty parentheses. I'll declare that my second method will be named method 2, and I'll declare it with public static void method 2. I'll have as the body of my method 1 the lines that will print to the screen, I am method 1, I was called, I am done. The body of method 2 will print to the screen, I am method 2, I was called, I am done. So there's my completed class, my methods. Both of these methods are public and static and void. Public means they may be called from outside the class in which they reside. Static means they may be called using the name of the class in which they reside. Void means that they return nothing back. Method 1 and method 2 are their respective names. And the empty open and closed parentheses means they do not expect any argument to be passed to them. Here, in my main method of demo calling methods, I will have the line system.out.println and simply print to the screen hello. I'll then call method 1 in my methods, and I call it using the name of the class in which it resides, my methods, dot method 1. I can execute this line. This line is acceptable to my compiler because the method 1 is public, so it may be called from outside the class in which it resides. It's static, so it may be called using the name of the class in which it resides, and then a dot, and then the name of the method. It returns nothing back, that's the void, and it expects no arguments to be passed to it. So I have an empty open and closed parenthesis here in my line that calls method 1, my methods dot method 1. My next line in my main method will simply print to the screen I am here. My next line will be a call to method 2 of my methods, and again I may call method 2 in my methods this way because it is a public method, it is a static method. And so with my methods dot method 2, I am here in the main method of demo calling methods, calling method 2 within the class my methods. I'll then print to the screen goodbye. So here are the two completed classes. My methods has two public static void methods. My class demo calling methods has one main method, through which I call method 1 and method 2. So as I execute demo calling methods, here I'll execute my main method. We'll print to the screen hello. We will call method 1, it will execute, printing to the screen those lines, I am method 1, I was called, I am done, and then returning control back to the main method of demo calling methods, returning back to the point from which it was called. We'll then execute the line I am here within the main method. We'll then execute this line, calling method 2 of my methods. It will execute, printing to the screen I am method 2, I was called, I am done. And when it is complete, it will return back to the position in demo calling methods, its main method, from which it was called. We'll then have the execution of this line, goodbye, printing that to the screen. So here we see the calling of methods in another class. If those methods in the other class are public, they may be called. If those methods are static, they may be called using the name of the class in which they reside, a dot, and then the name of the method itself. If those methods that are called require no arguments, we pass none. If there are arguments required, we must do that. The two methods that we have in this example do not require any arguments to be passed. So here we see our two completed programs, our two classes, one with a main method, one with two methods that are called from within that main. So as we conclude, we want to remember that classes that have public methods, if a class has public methods, those methods may be called from outside that class. If the methods that I am calling are static, I need only use the name of the class in which they reside, a dot, and then the name of the method itself. Processing follows a trail of commands. That is, I execute lines of code in one class. As those lines execute, if I call a method in another class, control goes to that class. When that method is through executing, control comes back to the next line within the method in which I called that method in the other class. Thank you.